What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Football Focus with Finn. Today, I am going to be going over my playoff predictions. I did one episode similar to this way before the season even started. And now that the season has ended, and I'm really happy about it, and now that the playoffs are set, I'm going to do my last playoff prediction for the 2020 through 2021 NFL season. Before I start, I just want to say I'm going to be live streaming a lot of the games. So make sure to check out my YouTube and like my Podbean. Look up Podbean at podbean.com for like my live streaming thing because I'll be like live streaming, commentating. You can hang out if you want to. If you're like in the YouTube chat and you just want to like ask me a question, if you're listening and you're interested in that sort of stuff, make sure to check it out. I'll definitely try to form a better schedule, especially with the playoffs coming in. I'm going to be live broadcasting a lot of the games, so I'm going to be doing that. And today we're just going to be going through playoffs, but very shortly there's going to be another episode that's going to come out, and it's going to be all about my Pro Bowl selection. So make sure to check out the next one before we start with this one. Okay, we're going to start off with my AFC selections. The first matchup we're analyzing: number 4 seed Tennessee versus number 5 seed Baltimore. I think this is going to be a close one. I think that there's going to be a lot of running with Derrick Henry on for Tennessee, and with Mar Jackson and J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards and Mark Ingram for Baltimore. And I think that whoever stops the run this game is going to win the game all around. And if say both teams stop the run, you have to look at the next best team when throwing the ball, especially in offense. And I think that Ryan Tannehill can throw the ball much better than Lamar Jackson can. Ryan Tannehill has a lot more help, and if the Titans are able to, shorten the run a little bit, I think they'll be able to come out on top, in the long run. So I think that Tennessee wins this matchup. Next matchup, number 3 Pittsburgh versus number 6 Cleveland. I think that if you look at the other games, Pittsburgh beat Cleveland twice, and Cleveland barely beat Pittsburgh when Pittsburgh didn't even have all of their starters in. So I think that the Steelers should be able to completely run away with this one. The Browns should make it hard for them, but Steelers humiliated them the last time they played them 38-7. So I think that the Steelers are going to be able to walk away with this one. I have them winning. Next, the final matchup in Wild Card Weekend: number 2 Buffalo versus number 7 Indianapolis. This is a tough one. Not really. Just kidding. It's really not. There's nothing about this stuff. It's Buffalo all the way. Indianapolis has just been sloppy with Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers has just been too old on many plays, and I think that this Buffalo defense, this secondary particularly, Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, Tre'Davious White, Josh Norman, it's going to shut off any passing game that Phillip Rivers can muster up. And I think that even if, Jonathan Taylor is, getting a lot of hype, I still think that there's going to be a lot of people like Matt Milano or Ed Oliver, or, people like Justin Zimmer, or small guys like that who don't get a whole lot of hype, but that are still going to be able to slow down this run. And I think that on the defensive side, they have everyone covered. Indianapolis, great defense, pretty solid, but I mean, offense is where it's at. Josh Allen deserves to be in the MVP voting. He should be second or third, if not first. Stephon Diggs, Cole Beasley, John Brown as a wide receiver trio is absolutely insane. Like, this is an offensive team and a defensive team. There's just all this completeness. I think that they overwhelm Indy. I'm calling a blowout win by the Buffalo Bills here. In the divisional round, we have number 1 Kansas City versus number 4 Tennessee. Again, not a super hard one. I think Kansas City is just a little too good for Tennessee. You have Tennessee not being able to stop this Kansas City pass. Patrick Mahomes is going to go crazy. Tyreek Hill's going to and Travis Kelce are both going to have field days. Um, Kansas City doesn't run the ball a lot, so I think that Tennessee's offense and run game should be able to do something. So Kansas City's going to win, but it's not going to be as much of a win as you think. I think that Tennessee's going to keep it surprisingly close, and it's going to be close-ish. It's going to be solidly close. Next matchup for the AFC in the divisional round: number 2 Buffalo versus number 3 Pittsburgh. So here's what I see. I see that Pittsburgh has injury riddled and low offense. They have an old quarterback who's not very mobile, and who's gonna should and pretty talented wide receivers and almost zero run game. This is gonna be another blowout by Buffalo. I think that Buffalo, they beat the Steelers in the regular season. I think they'll be able to beat them in the playoffs with little to no effort. I think that Buffalo wins this very, very decisively. And so before we announce the conference game, we're going to jump over to the NFC, so we can announce basically the semifinals of the playoffs together, for NFC and AFC. For the wild card, it's the Washington football team, which is the 4th seed versus number 5 seed Tampa Bay. I mean, the Washington football team was pretty good, but I can't see them beating Tampa Bay. I think that Tampa Bay, their offense is just too good. It's going to overwhelm whatever defense Washington can muster, and Alex Smith is going to have such a hard time throwing against this Tampa Bay defense. With guys like Devin White, who might even not play, but like Jason Pierre-Paul, Shaq Barrett, Antoine Whitfield Sr., who's been very, very good as a safety. I think that Washington is defeated soundly by Tampa Bay. Next one, number 3 Seattle versus number 6 Los Angeles. I think that number 6 Los Angeles, I believe in them. I think that Jared Goff's coming back. He's gonna be whole lot better. You got guys like Cooper Kupp and a lot of the O-line people coming back. So I think that as people get healthier on the Rams, you'll see a continually amount of wins for them, and I think that they'll be able to upset Seattle here. I think that they'll be able to take it back and win. With returning O-line like Andrew Whitworth, as I was going to say before. I think they beat it and go on to play Green Bay in the divisional round. Last matchup, number 2 New Orleans versus number 7 Chicago. This is one of those no-brainers. Normally you can confidently speak on a 2-7 one, so I think that this isn't very close. I think that New Orleans takes down Chicago in a proving fashion. Number 1 Green Bay versus number 6 Los Angeles Rams. I think the Rams can have Green Bay's number. If I'm going to be brutally honest. If you look at what the Rams have been able to do so effectively on defense, with Jalen Ramsey in particular, what have they been so good at doing? Well, they've been so good, especially with Jalen Ramsey helping out, shutting down team's number 1 wide receiver. And who's the Packers' number 1 wide receiver? Well, it just happens to be one of their only good wide receivers that Aaron Rodgers really trusts to throw to. 20 times a game is what he normally does. So if Jalen Ramsey can shut down Devontae Adams, well, you're looking at a whole new look for this offense. And the rest of the Rams defense is pretty good. Leonard Floyd and other guys like Troy Hill, they're still pretty good. But I think that once Jalen Ramsey will take down much of what Devontae Adams can do, then you'll have Aaron Donald being able to blow up the run because, the Packers don't have guard David Bakhtiari. So I think that, tackle David Bakhtiari. So I think that Aaron Donald's going to be able to get pressure up front along with the rest of the rush. And Jalen Ramsey is going to be able to shut down Devontae Adams. And on the defensive side of the ball, they'll be able to hold Aaron Rodgers. And I think that the Rams sneak in with the win with a huge upset. seed 6 going up against seed 1 and winning. So I think the Rams can really pull off this upset. Number 2 New Orleans versus number 5 Tampa Bay. This is another no-brainer. Saints have played the Bucks twice this year, destroyed them both times, resoundly. I think that, it's Saints are a very complete team. They're a quarterback away from they're a, young quarterback away from being a really good franchise. So I think that New Orleans wins this one easily. Number 2 Los Angeles versus number 2 New Orleans. I believe in the Rams. It sounds silly. A lot of people are probably going to make really big fun of me for doing this, but I think that Los Angeles can go all the way in this conference championship. I see them beating New Orleans. I think their defense is able to keep Drew Brees in check. And I think that New Orleans, with their many penalties, and they won't be able to get it together against Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp and Darrell Henderson, Cam Akers, and and Malcolm Brown, these guys on the offense. Jared Goff has matured very much as a quarterback. So I think that Los Angeles pulls off an upset, goes all the way, surprises every single person, and goes all the way to the Super Bowl. Over to the AFC, we have number 1 Kansas City to number 2 Buffalo. Who's going to get into the Super Bowl and play Los Angeles? And you might be saying, Finn, this is easy. You pick the number 1 seed. You pick Kansas City. They're unstoppable. They were 14-2. They beat the Bills in the regular season. And what would I say to that? I would say you are wrong. I think the Bills win this game. Their defense is able to hold Patrick Mahomes in check. Remember, if you go all the way to that win, way back early in the season, if you go to that win that the Chiefs had against the Bills, a majority of the secondary and defense of the Bills was non-existent and injured. And so I think that the Bills, with Josh Allen playing his butt off, with their offense being so deadly, Stephon Diggs really getting to know Josh Allen while they're best friends on the football field and off the football field. This Buffalo defense that can keep Patrick Mahomes in check. I say that the Buffalo Bills will go to the Super Bowl to play the Los Angeles Rams. Number 2 seed versus the number 6 seed. And I think that the champion, I've believed in them every single step of the way. I've always felt like this was a special team. I felt like Josh Allen was an MVP. I thought Stephon Diggs was going to make this kid special. I thought Sean McDermott was a phenomenal coach. I have the number 2, the Buffalo Bills, winning the 2021 Super Bowl 55. Absolutely insane. Let the ticker tape fly. It's a controversial playoff prediction, but I don't care. I think that that Buffalo is able to pull off this win in the Super Bowl, and I believe that they are going to get it done. Thank you for listening to my playoff prediction. Make sure to check out YouTube, Podbean for my live commentary. Make sure to check up on Anchor and Spotify and all those other things for more content coming out soon with my all pro and pro teams that I'm going to be putting out, hopefully with a friend. And I will see you all next time. Thank you guys so much for listening. I will see you next time. Love you all. Goodbye.